Hello everyone, this is CJNovo992 and today we're back for another brand new video. In today's video we are here to talk about another 3 points in the bank and a hell of a lot more grey hairs grew on this head. Right here as the final score was St Mirren 1, Rangers 2. And you know something, in a weird way this game sort of encapsulates the old season for Rangers and what this Rangers team is this frickin' year, because again we can keep going back to last year and talking about this and talking about that till the cows come home, but we have to move on for it. We've heard for the players, we've heard the manager say that we need to let go of that vision of the team and everything. Like, everything went perfectly, and I mean perfectly, last season. You're probably never ever going to have things rolling that way and getting the wee lucks in games to make sure you do this and this, and people aren't going to score unbelievable screamers against you like they did last season, etc. So we have to move away from that. We need to just judge this team now on this season. And again, in this game of football we showed what we're about. We're a team of absolute battlers. Yes, it isn't going pretty right now, and yes, it isn't as flawless, but they continue to fight because Rangers lead the league, ladies and gentlemen, in points recovered from losing positions and points gained for losing positions, and that's something to be proud of as well. Again, I'd much rather be sitting here talking about 5, 6 nuns or anything like that, but nobody can question what this Rangers team has right here, and that's heart, and that's why we're top of the league despite us putting ourselves in very, very difficult holes, people scoring screamers and the stuff that we've done this year. That for me is something I'm going to take away from the game, look at and be very, very proud of about this Rangers team, because I know there's people out there, daddies and moon howlers and people that pander and everything like that, going about saying, oh, I can't wait to this day so we play Rangers and all that, but ignore them, they're just pandering, alright? They do that all the time and then they end up getting beat. This St Mirren team that people are trying to talk down right now was on a 6-match undefeated run coming into this game. They were playing absolutely fantastic. Yes, they got pumped off Celtic earlier on in the season, but they were doing 10 men away from him early on in the game, and the game just got away from them. Since that, they've tweaked things, they've changed their formation, they've changed their play style, and they've been on a fantastic run, giving this team like Hibs, beating Aberdeen, beating Livingston. They've been going out there and getting results and breaking their own club record for consecutive wins coming in to this game versus Rangers. So the challenge was there, and we went ahead and met it heads on and came away with a hard fought pass, but that's the only thing that matters. It's a results business and we'll take it. How well did we play against Hearts and we get 1 point? Aye, so I'm not going to sit here and be upset that we all got 3 points. And with that win over St Mirren, that is now 9 consecutive wins over them in league football. That's right, a genuine 9 in a row. No SPFL vote needed. So aye, it was a hard fought, ugly win, but I wasn't expecting anything less for this game of football. An early kick-off versus St Mirren up in Paisley. It's always difficult after Europe, and despite me hoping it was going to be a pumping, this was probably always going to be the game that we got today, and we got the all 3 points. But before we go ahead and dive right in to the actual game recap and stop talking around the actual game, if you didn't mind supporting the old channel, I haven't done a wee cheap plug in a wee while. If you didn't mind subscribing to the channel if you're new around here, we're kind of slow doing a wee bit on that front. We're trying to reach 56k. Let's try and pick up the momentum again, nation, and smash that incredible milestone. But aye, with the YouTube things out of the way, let's get to the actual game recap and speak about the first 20 minutes of this game, which I'll be honest with you was absolutely terrifying to watch from a Rangers perspective. Probably the exact opposite if you're a St Mirren fan, because honestly I've never seen you play so well. But before we get to the brilliance of St Mirren, let's talk about the absolute shambles that was Rangers' defending and lead up into St Mirren taking the lead in this game, because a couple minutes in, it's just a big long punted ball in the air, and Stephen Davis, who was back in the middle of the park by the way, moving Lundstrom out of his man of the match positions over the last 6 games, and for me that didn't work at all, but we'll speak about that as we go on. Anyway, Davis is there, he tries to bring the ball down, he misses his first touch, and then tries to header it back to Tavernier, doesn't really get a lot on it. Tavernier has to step into it, then he tries to pass to Lundstrom, he doesn't get enough on it. Honestly, comical errors. And then Lundstrom tries to trap the ball and get there, but gets bumped, then misses his challenge. That's 3 established, experienced players making mistake after mistake in the space of 10 seconds. Every single one of them had a howler there. But anyway, you can't take anything away from the St Mirren perspective after what happened next, because Rowan just gets the ball, he skips by, he keeps running, and then he unleashes. And I'll tell you something, see when he tried to shoot for about 30 yards, I went, fair play, oh my god, it's in. And my hands remained on the back of the grey noggin for a certain amount of time because I couldn't believe that I went to see it. I was actually like, fair play, someone's actually having a pop for range for once instead of just turning and hit it sideways. But genuinely, you can't complain about this goal. We could talk about deflections and some of them, or silly defending and awful marking on some of the goals we've conceded. But sometimes you just got to take a step back in the old chair and say that right there is what football's all about. Highest of quality and a truly wonderful goal. John McLaughlin, who a game was rotated in for Alan McGregor, couldn't be at fault for this goal. We could have been playing McGregor and McLaughlin and McCrory, all the MCs, and we wouldn't have got near it. But what really scared me was how we then proceeded to play, because I thought, right, couple minutes into the game, opening 5 minutes, they've scored, right, let's go ahead and just really go after them. But no, St Mirren absolutely emptied the tank. They were passing through us, they were winning every 50-50, they were bullying in the middle of the park, they were skipping by Stephen Davis in the holding midfield role. Honestly, it was scary and terrifying to watch as a Rangers fan because we were truly getting outplayed. I even put out a tweet, man, honestly, it was like we had just released a new kit and we were playing on a black and white strip, because that's what I expect from the Rangers team, to be passing with this crispness, getting involved, high press, winning the ball out of the park. That's not what I'm expecting to get done to us, but full credit to St Mirren. They were absolutely outstanding in the first 20-25 minutes of this game. But just like Clubber Lang in Rocky 3, St Mirren punched themselves out. They gave themselves too much early on in the contest and they could not kill the game off, and Rangers just went, thank you, we'll take the game over now, merci beaucoup. And it's no surprise to me that it comes down the right hand side for Tavernier and everything like Tavernier and Aribo early on in the game combining. They end up winning a corner kick. Tavernier steps, a wonderful delivery from the skipper. Connor Goldson meets it, but so unfortunately does Anik. But 60 seconds after that, everything we sort of done in this game seemed to come in short bursts. It was like we were cutting about with a FAMAS back in the Modern Warfare 2 days, because just 60 seconds after that corner, a carbon copy, Tavernier on the right hand side, whipping in a beautiful ball, and Connor Goldson headers it back in. Now, I don't know if this was supposed to be like a move or something, because Connor Goldson went mental screaming that someone was supposed to be in front of the goalkeeper. Maybe it's something that they've practiced, like he puts it in there, someone's in front of the goalie and they've got a tap in. But it looked as if we had tried something, but it didn't work out, and it did make sense why Connor Goldson kept just hitting them straight down the middle. But it was frustrating, but at least we were finally, and I mean finally, having shots. Speaking of shots, by the way, in the next 10 minutes of the game really just became the Hadji show, and that's what I love, because what Hadji done for us in this game of football is why I absolutely love that man right there by the name of Ryan Kent, because that's normally what he does for us. When things aren't flowing and we aren't looking good, Ryan Kent usually gets on the ball, tries some, has a pop, or at least tries to cause some havoc. And that is what Hadji done. He really just grabbed the game by the scruff of the neck and went, no, I'm not allowing this to happen. And it became the Hadji show. First one, he has a kind of running cross down the left hand side, he runs in and then the goalie ends up hitting out for another corner. Then a couple of minutes after that, he kind of just flicks the ball over a slide challenge, tries a snap volley. I think this might actually be sneaking in, by the way, but it's a wonderful block by the St Mirren player, and somehow it's given for a goal kick instead of a corner kick. But it was a brilliant bit of defending to stop Hadji there, but it just kept coming and coming and coming, and you could feel that if we were going to get back in the game, it would come from our boy Hadji. And it did, troops, in the 40th minute of this game. But you have to give a lot of credit for Kemar Roofe as well, because it's actually Kemar Roofe's pressing. Because Alfredo Morelos, I love the man, honestly, I really do, but he's like that security guard that can't be bollocked. Whenever he has to press, he's kind of just jogging about. But Roofe takes the day in initiative here. He does the press, he runs by Morelos, he goes after Power, slide challenge in, wins the ball back, he flips it out to Hadji, and then Hadji ends up beating one, and then Power, who lost the ball, is trying to make up for making a mistake and clips Hadji quite clearly in the box, and it is now that iconic line, penalty to Rangers. And honestly, when the second it happened, if you were quiet enough and you went like this, you could hear the Moonhowlers crying about referees. But anyone who's ever seen a game of football before and isn't blinded by hatred of Rangers will know it's a clear penalty kick and the referee got it spot on. And up steps Kemar Roofe, who has been our penalty kick taker this season. And honestly, this one right here is spectacular, right? I'm a bit nerdy for penalty kicks and everything like that. I know I've talked about this and that before, but this to me was a perfect penalty kick because the goalie dives the right way. The goalie dives early. I bricked myself, but it's absolutely buried in the corner. No goalkeeper is saving it. Wonderful for Kemar Roofe, and that is what he is, our most clinical finisher that isn't named Jermaine Defoe. Wonderful penalty, and we're back in the fricking game. Now, we all know what happens next, but before we get to that wonderful, wonderful moment, I just want to touch on Kemar Roofe for a second, because again, he's been kind of flying underneath the radar. Now, if you watch the preview videos, I've mentioned this a couple of times, but now with that goal, Kemar Roofe now has 8 goals in 14 matches this season, and that's including 5 matches when he was brought on as a late sub from the 73rd minute onwards. If you take those 5 games out, the man's got 8 goals, and 9 starts this season, which, by the way, now means he's got 26 goals and 34 starts for the football club. That there is frightening, yet nobody, and I mean nobody, talks about it. He's a right winger. That is brilliant, and he's having a very, very quietly effective season. More of that. Honestly, I feel like, and I'm not wanting to annoy anybody in the comments of that, but he's starting to become our talisman. I know we all love the next player we're going to talk about, but the man who's sort of delivering, who's more clinical right now, is Roofe, and he's putting the numbers up to back that statement up. But speaking of deadly, let's talk about it, because we just go back into the game of football. The coconuts are swinging. Honestly, we're juggling. We're excited right now because we're back in the game, and we want to just see us offering a wee bit. Maybe throw a couple of attacks at them, then go in at 1-1 at half time and really go after them in the second half. But this Rangers team went, nah, we're not going to mess around here. And it's no surprise again, Tavernier wins the ball back. He passes to Joe Rebo. Tav then continues his run. Joe Rebo finds him. Tavernier whips in a delicious dipping cross that drops right on the 6-yard box. It's phenomenally whipped in by the skipper. The St Mirren defender ends up missing it, and I don't know if that's got anything to do with Kemar Roofe's run. Maybe it takes his eye off it or anything like that, but the man who's waiting just behind him at the right place, right time to cushion it with a noggin. It's not a clean hit. It doesn't hit anywhere up here. No, it is full in there, and he noses it in for his goal that he has been dying for. And we've said that in the preview videos. We need something to hit off Alfredo Morelos, because no matter how hard he tries, he's not going to get that clean finish to get his 100th. Well, ladies and gentlemen, the ball literally hits off his nose. It goes in. It doesn't matter how it goes in right enough, but that's his 100th goal for the football club, and he goes away and celebrates, jumps in with the crowd and everything like that, and you just love to see that, man, because that's passion. That's what it's all about. Football's for the fans, and when the players feel that and they want to share that with the fans, they shouldn't pick up yellow cards and everything. I know that's a conversation for another day, but that's football to me. The back and forth, and it goes that way. They're not just money merchants who's robots and they didn't care and they're doing a job. They want to go and celebrate with the fans, and they should be allowed to. But it's a wonderful moment, and it moves us 2-1 up. We've completely flipped the game in the head in 1 minute and 42 seconds, and for those 1 minute and 42 seconds, we're the best team that's ever been. But no changes were actually made in the second half. Now, St Mirren were forced to make a couple because, again, they just ran out of complete puff. A couple of their boys had pulled up. But the second half was pretty positive from Rangers. The best bit of play sort of came from Joe Rebo. No surprise there coming down. He's adding bites to his game. He's starting to get involved in the slide challenge. He's starting to get about, and he's starting to speak a wee bit now. I mean, he barked a wee bit at the linesman and everything like that who'd done a wrong call, and the referee actually overturned it because Joe Rebo was right. And I think that's what he needs to add to his game, because he's so cool, calm and composed and so skillful and everything like that. But if he can just get a wee bit of the Ryan Jack barking in his game and that mindset, I think he could really take that next step up, because we can all see that there is another level to Joe Rebo, and I think that's what it is. It's playing with a wee bit more aggression and getting stuck in a little bit more. But he was so positive. He was bodying people, for me, in my opinion, and he sort of picks up the next opportunity as he sets up down the right hand side. He's got no right to actually win this at all. It's a completely overhit pass, but he keeps chasing it. He bodies the boy, and then he's balanced on the line to keep himself up, flick it onto his left foot, keep the ball in play, find Kemar Roofe, who unselfishly sets up our boy Alfredo Morelos, who has a swipe at it, and it just goes over. But that's all just down to Joe Rebo being a special talent that he actually is. But the game started to break down just a little bit. We have to jump right to the 74th minute to talk about the next opportunity, and by this point Alfredo Morelos had came off the park. Yes, he was booked for the celebration, and I wasn't nervous about him doing anything stupid like, because he has matured and he has learned from past mistakes. But you could see what was happening on the park, and Gerrard could see what was happening. Every single time Morelos came into the play, St Mirren were going down holding their faces. They were doing this to the referee. The boy wasn't touching him, but they were trying every trick in the book to actually get him that second yellow card. So I think he was actually subbed off to protect himself from the St Mirren diving and holding their faces and claiming high boots and all that. It was pathetic the way St Mirren were diving and play acting in that perspective. But again, Gerrard took him off. Sakala came on, and Sakala then has the biggest opportunity in the second half. We're down the right hand side. Again, Joe Rebo and Tavernier doing some good work. Tavernier whips on another beautiful ball, and Sakala 6 yards out, man. Just make contact with it and you've probably burst the back of net, but he absolutely whiffs it. And starting to be a couple questions now, man. I'm watching a guy here for the loan reviews by the name of Cedric Itten, who's winning every ball in the Bundesliga that's up in the air, and I'm seeing us create opportunities. Sakala needs to start delivering when he's getting that chance, because that was a real sitter for him. He had Betty's, man. He just completely whiffed the header. Now again, I'm not turning my back on him saying he's going to flop or that, but he needs to start taking his opportunities when he gets some more. He's just going to get less and less game time and end up being in the same usage of what Itten was last frickin' season. But again, I'm not saying if Itten was playing he'd have scored or that, because we know for a fact Itten would have been told to be out wide, crossing it, no actually in the box, using his big boy frame. But again, nothing much was really happening. Scotty Arfield had came on for Hadji, so we'd lost that wee bit of skill in the middle of the park and everything like that, and the game was sort of trickling along. But then a serious injury actually happened to McGrath. I don't know what actually the injury is. Again, I'm recording this, I don't know anything or anything like that, but I know he had to get stretchered off and they ended up having to play the last couple of minutes of the game down to 10 men. I think he was down for like 7-8 minutes with the stretcher, so it doesn't look very good. So best of luck to the lad. I hope it's nothing serious and he gets back playing football anytime soon. But it's because of that serious injury that there was 7 minutes added on for extra time. And as soon as you see that, you start getting nippy bum time. But aye, the Rangers defence stood strong. They never really gave another opportunity. Patterson actually done very well to win us a free kick in a dangerous area that Barisic tried to get on target. I think it took a slight deflection and it missed just by that, and they had a late set piece, but it was well defended again for Rangers, and that hasn't been something I've said a lot this season. But if you look at the frantic nature and everything like that in the last 10 minutes, I mean, we're up against the goalkeeper again in our goal for the last minute, etc, etc, but defensively sound in the last 10 minutes. No major opportunities, no shots. It's just unfortunate that again, that pretty much the only shot that we faced on target ended up being another goal, but where it's been frustrating because it's deflected or hit off somebody and put somebody through in the past. This right here, the day, was just an absolute scream dream. And that is the game of football, ladies and gentlemen. It finished Rangers 2, St Mirren 1. 3 hard-fought points, but it doesn't matter how you get them. It only matters that you get them. And that phrase that I continue to say on the channel whenever there is an ugly game, this right here is why we are champions. Well, troops, it is. And the statement stands. What about you? Let me know down there in the comment section below. What's your thoughts and opinions on the game? Who stood out to you? Who was your man of the match? And is Kemar Roofe the most underappreciated player at the football club right now? I'd love to know what your thoughts and opinions are on that bad boy. But until next time, ladies and gentlemen, I've been sieging over into. That has been a sleepy Rocky Boy Johnson. Take care of yourselves, everyone. All the best, and bye-bye.